Hey Makima.
Hey Himeno.
Wasn't Richard supposed to be doing his mega review for blanking blank 3 this week?
Yeah, but it's taking him longer than he thought.
Oh no.
Yeah, it took him over 200 hours to finish all 3 scenarios, so the script is extra mega huge.
Wow, so what's he going to do this week then?
Clip show.
No?
Oh. Okay, how about 10 of his favorite RPG YouTubers?
Okay, that sounds pretty fun actually.
Hello and welcome to RPG Fortress. My name is Richard and I like RPGs. I especially like SRPGs. Swords, sorcery, cybernetic strategy. I love all of these things. I also love releasing videos on time. And unfortunately, my latest video is taking much longer than I thought it would. I should have realized that this was going to happen because it's actually 3 games in 1 and they are all pretty long. I don't want to ruin the surprise, and I think I've dropped enough hints, so I'll leave it there for now. So, what I am doing this week is a little bit out of the ordinary, but I think it's a pretty fun idea. Long before I attempted to start my own YouTube channel, disregard that this is currently my 3rd attempt, I was a fan of YouTube. I had and have a huge list of channels that I watch and enjoy. Most of my favorite channels are RPG focused because, shock horror, RPGs are my genre. I've been playing RPGs since Dragon Warrior on the NES, and Shining Force unlocked Super RPG mode for me. Since then, I have mostly played RPGs. Genesis, SNES, PlayStation, PS2, PC, GBA, all of it. I have tried to assimilate every single RPG that I have had access to like a hungry Borg looking for new biological distinctions to add to their own. There are a number of channels that I have enjoyed for a long time and a number of channels that have influenced me. And I want to take a bit of time to talk about them. Give them a shout out because they deserve it, because I like them a lot. So in absolutely no order at all, here are 10 of my favorite RPG YouTubers. Starting the show with a showstopper, it's the man with the golden voice and a breadth of knowledge that covers the entire spectrum of the genre. It's Xygor Gaming. Xygor has been releasing great video content for 15 years. This guy has been around forever and has covered RPGs from just about every and any console that you can imagine. The dude does these great, concise reviews of RPG and RPG adjacent titles. He does series retrospectives, and he does beat-by-beat story transcriptions. His Chrono Trigger story breakdown is probably the best on all of YouTube. His videos are loaded down with intriguing and fascinating footage from the games he covers. And his release schedule is out of this world. He releases at least a new video just about every week, but I swear sometimes he'll drop 3 videos all in a 7-day stretch. Where does he get the time to sleep? The guy literally lives and breathes RPGs. Xygor, you are the man. He says never trust someone who needs a haircut, but I say you can always trust Jason Graves because the guy knows what he's talking about. Jason Graves has been doing his thing for a couple of years now. He started off doing little videos on how you can clear old NES games efficiently before transmogrifying into his current form. The guy has an incredible series called Every SNES RPG, and I watch it religiously. He's basically the Jesus Christ of SNES RPGs. Classic SNES RPGs, he's on it. Bad SNES RPGs, he's on it. SNES RPGs you have never even heard of, he is on it. Jason's videos are bizarre fever dreams of content. You won't find any sort of dry, clinical Wikipedia reading here. What you get is oftentimes stream of consciousness breakdowns of RPGs and real honest opinions. He'll candidly relate his own personal history with games he's played, and he has this real penchant for being honest and believable, something that can be really hard to find on YouTube. His videos on Breath of Fire and Breath of Fire 2 are incredible breakdowns. It's like you're in the room and he's speaking to you directly. Jason, never stop being you. Crikey, it's time to grab a Foster's, a plate of shrimp straight from the Barbie, and some Fire Emblem waifus. It's your boy, RamZaes. RamZaes is a whirlwind of unrestrained zoomer energy, and I am totally here for it. This guy reviews a lot of these modern-day RPGs that are dripping with anime aesthetics. Your Fire Emblems, your Xenoblades, your Personas. His videos are loaded down with off-the-wall humor and references to anime and weeb games. I also like that his humor is very self-aware. It's hard to pull that off very well. Rams isn't afraid to try something new, and you'll see him sometimes review anime, sci-fi movies, make fried chicken, or even rebrand as a VTuber for a couple of videos. On top of this, he can also do hour-plus videos that are interesting and funny from start to finish. A truly Herculean task. Plus, most of his thumbnails have been drawn by himself, and it's been really fun to watch his style improve over the years. Rams, you're an absolute legend. Next up is your boy, the Rapping Reaper, Slayer of Earthbound, Persona fan extraordinaire, and comedy mastermind, it's Dad, MoriCalliope. Okay, can I get away with this? Does Callie count? She's a VTuber. She's not even 100% dedicated to RPGs. I'm gonna add her anyway. MoriCalliope, a member of Hololive Myth, the girl is an absolute legend. Since debuting in 2020, Callie has been an absolute fire hydrant of content. 12-hour streams, plowing through Earthbound, blasting through Blasphemous, crushing Persona games whenever she gets a free minute, and this is all on top of all of the other VTuber content she drops, like hot collabs, karaoke streams, original music, a lot of original music, and much, much more. Callie's playthrough of Earthbound was an excellent way for me to revisit this childhood favorite for the first time in years. On top of this, her "Atlas, please let me stream Persona 3 from back in the day" was my first exposure to VTubers, and I have been hooked on them ever since. When am I doing a death metal version of Deadbeats? It's sooner than you think. Callie, keep on truckin', Sheriff. Of course, I have to add some Canadians to the list. So here's the queen of the old school, it's hungrygoriya. Goriya's got some great content on her channel, all recorded using authentic cartridges and hardware. How cool is that? She's not strictly devoted to RPGs, but she has covered an extensive amount of old RPGs and RPG adjacent titles. She's done some great videos on some of the more popular titles like Phantasy Star and Lunar, but she's also done some deep dives on rarer games like Shining Wisdom and Willow for the NES. I don't think I've seen her review anything newer than the PS1, with the sole exclusion being her in-depth review of Skies of Arcadia for the Dreamcast. She has some dissenting opinions of some games that I love as well, like Phantasy Star 2, but instead of totally writing it off, she gives a good analysis and backs up all of her statements. I love a reviewer with integrity like that. Goriya, thank you for your output. Next up is the king of long-form deep dives. It's the verbose and astounding Ludiscere. I discovered Ludiscere pretty recently, to be honest. I was cruising for some long-form content, and boy oh boy, did I find some. Ludiscere does some incredibly deep and meticulous videos on a range of topics, but most notably RPGs. He's slowly working through all of the mainline Final Fantasy games and going into bonkers detail about them, and the videos are only getting longer. His video for the first game was 53 minutes long, and his most recent video, which is on Final Fantasy IV, is 5 hours and 34 minutes long. What in the world? The dude's also done a great in-depth video on the myths behind Hades, and that one is 3.5 hours long. This video is a hell of a watch, and it goes into really in-depth detail about these sexy, legendary characters. He's also got some shorter form videos too, and they're always a good watch. Ludi, you rule. Next up, it's a twofer. It's Evan and Corbin of GamingBroductions. These two brothers have mastered professionalism. They excel at everything it takes to have a fantastic channel. Not only do they have the content, but they have also mastered the presentation, the thumbnails, the logo, the production, the intros, the interstitials, the end cards, just everything they do is sublime. The channel's content does it all. They have long-form story breakdowns, in-depth reviews, detailed lists, and a lot more. This is one of those channels that I can sit down and binge video after video and be entertained the whole time. Also, their Phantasy Star 4 video is pretty darn good. Evan, Corbin, cheers you guys. Up next is another set of brothers. This time it's Basement Brothers. Run by Neo Alec, Mr. Jakes, and Stu Rat, Basement Brothers is another channel that isn't solely devoted to RPGs, but does contain a lot of RPG content. The RPG content that they do have is uniquely theirs. They cover a lot of old PC-88 and PC-98 RPGs, which means by extension, Falcom games. You got your Eases, you got your old school Legend of Heroes games, but you also have a lot of relics from the day like Zack, you know, the Ease clone. Some truly, nearly forgotten stuff. It might be the aging brain in my head, but nostalgia and remembering the past have become very important to me these days. Game conservation and game discussion is really important to me. You have a million channels talking about Final Fantasy and the modern Legend of Heroes games, but old games by Falcom and Wolf Team are not nearly as covered, and I am so very truly happy that Basement Brothers do what they do. Alec, Jake, Stu, thank you for this. It's time for more CanCon. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Faerghast. Faerghast is 100% my go-to for Fire Emblem content. New games, old games, lore, mechanics, support convos, development, this guy literally does everything Fire Emblem related. He's also really charismatic and personable. You can jump into any of his content and immediately feel at home. Whether you want a deep dive or something a bit more light, Faerghast has the content that you want. There are a lot of Fire Emblem dedicated channels on YouTube. Fire Emblem is an incredibly popular series right now, but it's also an anomaly for tactics fans. Tactics games have never really been all that popular. Sure, we have Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre and Shining Force, but this is really where the love of the genre ends. Fire Emblem has transcended niche status and has become a huge property, and Faerghast is a titan of FE content. Plus, he's from the same province in Canada as me, so he gets extra points. Faerghast, thank you for your content. Closing out the list, it's probably my favorite YouTube channel ever. It's GTV-Japan. GTV's videos are the most high production content I have ever seen in the gaming sphere. He has absolute mastery of artistry and creation, and every time I load up a new video, I am amazed that he has some new production trick that I have never seen before. His channel's not 100% dedicated to RPGs, but his RPG content is better than anyone else's. GTV has several extraordinarily detailed Phantasy Star documentaries, and it's this alone that gets him top marks for his channel. This is content so detailed and professionally done that I have watched them all several times. I don't normally rewatch a lot of YouTube content, but these Phantasy Star videos are the literal best. GTV, you are a legend. Thank you so much. And that is my list. Once again, these aren't the 10 best channels, but 10 of the best channels. There are loads more out there that I enjoy and watch all the time. This is just a tasty little cross-section of the content that I consume personally. I might do another one of these in the future. 10 more RPG channels I adore. Who are your favorite RPG YouTubers? Leave a comment below. I am always on the look for more content to watch, so leave me some good, tasty recommendations. While you're at it, why not do the YouTube stuff that we all have to legally say at the end of our videos, or God will come and stomp us into dust. Like the video, ring the bell, share the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a buck or two at our Ko-fi, eat your vegetables, drink your milk, go for a jog, email a friend you haven't talked to in a while, read a couple of chapters in a book, take the trash out, postulate on the existence of extraterrestrials. Also, thank you for following me and watching my videos. It was a long trek to 1,000, but it's been the blink of an eye to get to 1,200. Once again, I am totally shocked that this many people watch my videos. You are truly the best community around. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'm Richard for RPG Fortress. See you next time, and don't forget to hug a cat. Goodbye.